Hello, Prayerful Heart Consciousness holders. This is Reverend Jerry Hobby, and I am so happy to be with you this evening. And the reason I'm happy to be with you is we get an opportunity to engage in spiritual practice. Now, I don't know about you, but I tell you today is quite the day. So much is happening in the world. And I know that we have a lot of people that are feeling something. They may have a sense of unrest. Things are settling in for them. And many may be moving through what we might call the dark night of the soul. But I'm going to say, please do not be disheartened. Because the thing is, what we're doing is we're preparing for something new. And as we prepare for something new, we begin to move into that place where we get to release, we get to let go, and we get to let God. Now, with that whole process comes change, and sometimes it may show up in the form of grief. But I want you to keep these things in mind. I love these wonderful quotes by Ernest Holmes. He says, "We are continuously living a new life. And when the old and the new do not fit nicely together, the old no longer able to contain the new should be discarded." And what I'm going to say is it happens in an organic way. And so because it happens in an organic way, we get to be fully present and we get to grow in our understanding. There's the saying, in all thy getting, get thou understanding. So today, I'm inviting you to engage with me today. I want you to take a moment and just simply breathe and release and let go. I know that many of you are just moving through a whole lot of stuff. You may have cabin fever. You may be restless and ready to go out into the world. Many of you are working and you're working long days. And it seems like you're in a place of monotony because you keep doing the same old thing. And maybe perhaps you haven't had a chance to get up and stretch. And I want to encourage you to get up and have those stretch breaks. And the other part is we get to coexist with our beloveds and be in relationships. Part of that is remembering to breathe, to practice patience, and to remember what we truly know about life. And that is, love is all there is. So we get to love the situation. So I had a conversation with someone today, and it was about loving and liking. And I told him, I said, you don't have to like anyone or like anything. The most important thing that is required in terms of healing is to allow love. So we get to shower the entire situation with love. So with that in mind, I'm going to invite you to simply breathe with me. I don't know where you're at, what your experience. You maybe experience a sense of grief, a sense of loss. And that grief and that loss can show up in many ways. The loss of loved ones. It can show up with the loss of freedom, seeming freedom, because many of us are in stay-home mode right now. We're here for a reason. And so what I want you to do is just simply breathe with me right now. And as we breathe, we remember this is for this moment we have been called to move into the place of the Most High, to release, to let go of the outer world, the outer appearances, and simply be. And so as we're breathing right now, we're just slowing down and focusing on the one. And as we focus on the one, we simply remember that there is only one life, and that life is God's life. And that life is fully present right here and right now. That the divine is the only presence that is anchored, and it is the divine, the only principle, the only essence, unfolding and fulfilling itself. And so in this very moment, right here and right now, I simply behold that presence as perfect love. And what I know about perfect love is that that loving presence embraces itself. That loving presence sees at the core of all things, and it only knows and beholds love. And I know that that love expands itself as divine wisdom and peace and harmony. I know that that love reveals itself as that divine light that uplifts, that inspires. I know that that loving presence is creative. And I know that it fulfills itself in an unlimited way. That its nature is to behold truth and its nature is to express truth. So in this very moment, right here and right now, I just acknowledge it right where I am. I'm acknowledging it for every single person that is hearing this prayer. I'm acknowledging it as the divine essence at the center and the core of life. And what I know about the center and the core of life is that it is anchored in the heart space, that it is that divine light that continues to regenerate itself and expand itself. It is sacred wisdom. And so right here and right now, I take this moment to behold the consciousness, the power and the strength of this loving presence, and know that it is alive and it is unfolding right now and has already gone into every single area of my life. It has moved into those areas that I, in my human experience, are unable to go. But what I know is something divine is set in motion. It is the good that always has been and the good that always will be, expanding itself, enriching itself, and expressing itself. And what I know right here, right now, that it is fully present at the core of my being, that every breath I take is the breath of the divine. It is love in action. I know that every part of my being, that the back of it, the pure essence of it, is the very essence of love. So my ears are anchored in the space of love, that my soul is the soul of love, that the essence of the divine continues to express itself. And I know that if it is so for me, that every single person that is hearing this prayer, that it is so for them right now. And I know that it shows up and it demonstrates itself right now in the big and the small and the in-between. I know that it is that divine presence right now that brings about patience and harmony, that it is that stimulating energy that fulfills itself creatively as the divine idea. I know that it is the divine essence moving right now, blessing all of our lives, our finances, our family life. It supports us energetically, and it is that divine fulfillment as perfect health. And what I'm knowing is right now that there is a comforting presence beyond that which we may be seeing, experiencing, and I know that that comforting essence is the divine as good. What I know is this fulfills itself in practical ways, right here and right now, that it is moving and expanding itself beyond that which we cannot even imagine. And I know that it personalizes itself for each one of us, but it also supports the good for the collective. So I'm acknowledging it right now as the only activity that is unfolding itself. It is that divine presence of peace and harmony. It is the divine presence that brings about infinite good. And so I'm just giving thanks and for this wonderful presence. I'm giving thanks for the light of love, and I'm giving thanks for the joy of spirit, fulfilling itself, nurturing itself, feeding itself, sustaining itself, and blessing itself. And it is in this space here right now that I simply release these words into the action of universal law. And together we are affirming and saying, and so it is. Amen. So I'm going to invite you to open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, I want to look into your eyes. And I want you to know how much I adore you. I hear I adore thee. There's a song out there about that. And I want you to know too that your life is a life for good, and that the presence has already gone before and prepared the way. So be not disturbed about anything that is happening, even when it seems like there are distractions all around you. Continue to be steadfast in terms of what you know, and continue to remember that God, divine love, peace, harmony is truly all there is. They all go by different names, but it is the truth. And that truth is love. The truth is God. That truth is the blessing that is unfolding for you right now. Keep looking towards the blessing and looking towards the good. I'm going to see you tomorrow. And I want to remind you right now, if you have a personal prayer request, it is important for you to download the Prayerful Heart app. And once you open that app up, go and send a personal prayer request to us. And our team, our practitioners, are ready to pray with you. Have a blessed day. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.